Hello, fabulous superstar Leo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of March 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month without a doubt. Now, we have huge energies at play this month, and they include two eclipses. Yes, we will have an entire eclipse season of 2 weeks taking place in this calendar month. We start the month with Venus going retro, and in the middle of the month, we have Mercury going retro. We end the month with Neptune changing signs. So there's just so much to talk about, and it really is a massively important time. The area of the chart that is so lit up for the most part is fellow fire sign Aries. This is a worldly part of your sky, but that also means that what otherwise might be challenging for others, for you, it's energy you're able to tap into to your advantage that much more. And there's lots of that to go around with a month like this. So first though, I want to talk about the first eclipse that happens on the 14th of the month. And that eclipse is in the sign just after yours. This eclipse is fascinating. It is a total lunar eclipse, and that tends to bring with it dramatic karmic endings, like the endings whose time has come. But here's the thing. There are challenges with this eclipse. It is opposite Saturn. And that brings with it perhaps some need to balance responsibilities with your own desires, but also it can sometimes feel like there's pressure from outside of you or some kind of power struggle. Not fun, I know, and I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. But sometimes it's not necessarily with another person or institution, but rather within yourself in terms of where you think you should be. However, Uranus is speaking in supreme harmony with this eclipse. Uranus at the top of your sky, having to do with success as you uniquely define it. And then there's Mars in the sign just before yours, speaking in harmony with this eclipse. And that is spiritual forces coming to your aid. Now, the eclipse itself, though, is taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with self-love, self-esteem, but it's also about money you earn and money that you spend. So you can see here, while there's a lot of really encouraging energy, there's also energy here that would give anybody pause. However, when we have such strong financial energy, it means that the money you need is there. Sometimes you're engaging powerful spiritual lessons along the way towards understanding what's worth doing for money, what isn't, what's worth spending your money on, what isn't, and the role that financial matters are going to play in your life. And for many Leos, though, this isn't going to play out financially. It'll have a lot more to do with where you are in terms of healthy self-love. And maybe even looking at what you own, the possessions in your life and your relationship to them can be part of the energy of this moment. It's an eclipse. Messages, changes can happen quickly, but ultimately what we're seeing here is fortunate karmic closures that free up a sense of you feeling more in touch with healthy self-love. And while there is a moment that might feel serious with this, it ultimately helps fuel healthy self-esteem in the process. What's worth doing for money, what isn't worth doing for money is part of the clarity that you just might find at this time. And this kicks off eclipse season. So this opens a portal of time, 2 weeks where the ancients believed that the veils between the worlds were especially thin. It's that much easier to recognize the spiritual lessons at play. The day after this eclipse, on the 15th of the month, we are going to have Mercury standing still in the sky and officially begin to go retro in fellow fire sign Aries, that worldly part of your sky that is so lit up this month. But here's the thing, this station retro happens at 9 degrees of Aries. So the entire zodiac is divided into 12 signs. Each sign is divided into 30 degrees, and altogether, the entire zodiac is 360 degrees. The singular degree of 9 Aries, this is where Mercury stands still And this is where 2 weeks later, we have on the 29th of the month, we have a solar eclipse. I kid you not. This is just so poetic. This is so incredible to me because it suggests to me very clearly that whatever happens at the solar eclipse on the 29th, give or take a few days on either side, will in some way connect to what was taking place in the middle of the month, especially when Mercury stood still in the sky. And it is at that second eclipse that brand new chapters just open up. That eclipse is speaking in harmony with Jupiter in a friendship part of your sky and in harmony with Pluto in your opposite sign of one-on-one alliances. And so you can see here, it's like worlds open up to you as a result of the people you know, the people you interact with, the people that you might be aligned with in group endeavors and friendship, but also the people that you might know more personally and have one-on-one connections with as well. You know powerful people, or at least optimistic people, who can guide you in your journey. So whether it's personal inspiration or real practical opportunity, other people add to your life at this time and help you to align with a greater sense of worldliness, a greater sense of vision, a greater sense of options that you have, and genuine optimism that you feel is coming at you in abundance, very likely thanks to the people in your life. So outside of that, though, I will say this can bring with it progress, fresh starts, new beginnings where it comes to things like long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters. This can help you to feel more connected to the world philosophically, spiritually, but also quite literally as well. Now, this part of the sky is lit up for another reason, and that is the day after this eclipse, Neptune moves into this part of the sky, fellow fire sign Aries. The world becomes a spiritual place. Anywhere you go in the world, it is a pilgrimage for you. So what's interesting and rare about this is that since 2012, you have had Neptune moving through a part of the sky that has to do with change, truth, transformation, but also wealth, your ability to access resources. So it's a different type of financial part of the sky because it has to do with things like loans and grants and scholarships and benefits that you might qualify for. Having Neptune leave here is likely going to help you to feel a whole lot more steady and calmer where it comes to financial matters, in particular where it comes to your dealings with things like banks and other financial institutions. And so that can be a relief of an energy. And this energy can also be just so profound given where Neptune is here. And having Neptune instead move into a more philosophical part of the sky, well, it makes its energies that much easier for you to access, and it allows you to blend philosophy, spirituality, and mystical experience that much more. So it feels like it ends up working together to your advantage that much more as well. So since 2012, Neptune's been in this more profound part of the sky. On the 30th of this month, changes signs just for a little bit, dips out of that part of the sky into fellow fire sign Aries until the 22nd of October. And at that time, Neptune will retrograde back here. That more profound energy kicks up again. And it will be in time for Valentine's Day next year that Neptune will then re-enter fellow fire sign Aries, and we're looking at a nice long stay, an overall transit of about 13 years. That's how long this transit lasts. And you will find the benefits of having Neptune leave that financial part of your sky become that much more evident once it is that we navigate just a little bit further as we step into a brand new year. So big energies to look forward to. Now, where it comes to matters of love, let's talk about Venus retrograde season because right out of the gate at the very beginning of the month, Venus does go retrograde. And we've got big moments as part of this larger transit. This month, we're going to have on the 21st a retrograde Venus connecting in harmony with Pluto, which is in your opposite sign. This is going to speak very powerfully to love and what you believe about love and how interacting with another person and your experiences with them can shape your understanding of the world personally and maybe quite literally as well. However, the more important moments, the big moments of truth and change, are set to take place next month, in the month of April. That is when we're going to have this conglomerate of energy. At the end of this month, Venus retrogrades into that more profound part of the sky and connects with the North Node, with Saturn, connects and is close in the sky to Mercury. I mean, there's this party going on in April as Venus slows down, stands still, and goes direct, speaking in harmony with Uranus as well. So I speak about a lot of that at length in the Venus retrograde special horoscope. You can access that in the superstar space at thefutureismagical.com or on my website, nadiyashah.com. But regardless, I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. So coming back to this month. This month is important in how it is that it helps you to see love more optimistically, more philosophically, and welcome in experiences that encourage you to do that as well. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, look, the most blatant way to interpret this is to look at the international love that the world opens up for you in the context of love. But that's also where you want to be careful because with Venus retrograde, what you think it is and what it actually is could end up being very different. So it becomes really important to pace yourself. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's really not. So pace yourself at this time, but do what feels right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. You'll have a lot of optimism and love will feel like an adventure. And so if part of that means, an excuse to travel, you might do that. If part of that means being open to new experiences, new cultures, new languages, you might find that awakens your heart in important ways that may or may not have to do with a specific person, but have to do with you and your sense of wanting to expand your horizons. For those of you just starting to date someone, well, right around the 21st, we have that super sultry moment that I really love for you. Now, I do want you to be mindful, though. It is on the 28th of the month that as Venus moves back into that financial part of the sky, is going to connect with Neptune. It's a huge watershed moment. Money and love do not mix, especially if you're just getting to know someone or you're open to meeting someone new. And if they are, well, that illusion is really going to feel so strong. There could be some disappointment there as well, but there might also be deception. I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. And so it becomes that much more important to stay vigilant with yourself, to strive to stay honest with yourself. If it feels like that line is blurring in a way that doesn't feel comfortable to you, well, you'll come to see it in some way. But for all that, we also have these powerful energies at play that speak to you wanting to connect with someone who maybe either is exotic to you, very different than you've known before, or maybe you want to share a sense of shared beliefs, spiritual beliefs, or philosophical beliefs as well. This is a part of the sky that can sometimes be given to some extremes. And so feeling as if you're connecting with someone or you're getting to know someone better who shares your worldview or really exposes you to a whole other worldview, well, either takes on significance for you. Now, for those of you in an established bond, well, look, for the overwhelming majority, it is likely to be the case that the two of you want to take on some adventure together, do something fun together, but you may need to pace yourself a little bit at this time. But if it is that you end up sharing some experience, especially around the 21st of March, it ends up being something that bonds the two of you. It ends up being something that reaches within both of you in powerful ways. But for all that, if it is that you felt for a while that you might not be in the right relationship for you. I think you'll see through some illusion right around the 21st as well, as part of this deeper look into where you are in love and how you feel about it. It is going to be once Venus switches gears, moves into on the 28th, that more profound part of the sky and connects with Neptune. I just think this is so much hope. And that's where you do want to be careful. If it is that the relationship is good, well, this can be a greater vulnerability and intimacy that feels like a spiritual experience. But if that hasn't been the case, this is where you may need to have a moment to consider what the truth of your feelings are, of the situation is, and what it is you might want to do next, even if a whole lot is going to look different once we get into the middle of next month and Venus goes direct. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say, well, I love the party going on in fellow fire sign Aries, but it really is that eclipse towards the end of the month that I think is going to be so special, because that is about new pathways opening up. And for you, new places, new worlds, new understandings of your place in the world, bigger opportunities, feeling like you have a bigger stage available to you as well. All of this stirs profoundly now. And very quickly, it can feel as if the whole world is a much more welcoming place. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com. Links in the description below. And new programs are starting this month over at synchronicityuniversity.com as we're finishing off February. You can still choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class to learn from some of the most celebrated astrologers alive today. Learn more and sign up now. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.